It's crucial to note that not all individuals with narcissistic tendencies resort to such extreme and horrific actions. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, can involve an inflated sense of self-importance, a need for excessive attention, and a lack of empathy for others. In severe cases, individuals with NPD can demonstrate manipulative and controlling behaviors within relationships, seeking to maintain power and dominance. However, the leap from narcissism to homicidal actions, such as killing one's family, is not a direct or common outcome of NPD. Homicidal behavior can be the result of a complex combination of factors, including severe mental illness, extreme emotional disturbance, underlying psychological issues, and sometimes a history of trauma or violence. Hannah Clarke was born in Brisbane, Australia, on September 8, 1988. Hannah was an athlete for the NASA trampoline team in high school. After graduation, Hannah started working as a teacher at the Police and Community Youth Club in her hometown. When Hannah was 20 years old, she married Rowan Baxter, who was 31 years old at the time. Rowan works as a boxing instructor in a private studio where Hannah is working. Rowan was born on May 9, 1977, in New Zealand. He was married with a child when he met Hannah. Hannah was working in a shopping center at the time. Hannah and Rowan tied the knot in October 2012. On April 10, 2013, Hannah delivered a daughter named Aaliyah. Rowan refused to give child support to his ex-wife after Hannah gave birth to their child. Rowan and Hannah plan to create their own gym, but they lack the necessary funds, so they seek investors, including Hannah's parents. They invested $18,000 to establish the gym. The gym did not make a profit, and its expenditures are mounting. Hannah's parents frequently pay the rent and other bills. Hannah had another daughter named Liana on March 19, 2015. On December 4, 2016, Hannah gave birth to her third son, Trey. Due to the poor performance of their business, the Baxter family continues to struggle financially. Rowan is also a bad gym manager, and it is frequently impolite to interact with their gym members and prospective members. The company declared bankruptcy in December of 2019. Hannah decides to leave Rowan due to his bad treatments towards her. Hannah took her children and left her residence with Rowan on December 5, 2019. She went to the police station the next day to obtain a domestic violence order. She eventually chose not to pursue it since she was afraid that doing so would just enrage Rowan. A few days later, Hannah moved home with her parents. They live in Brisbane's Camp Hill neighborhood. Rowan contacted a government agency on December 22, 2019, claiming to be the children's full-time caregiver in order to get financial help. However, Hannah is responsible for their 3 children. Hannah permitted Rowan to visit the kids for Christmas on December 24th. He gave them gift cards, but there was no money on them, and they were later revealed to be empty when they tried to use them. Rowan abducted his daughter Liana from Hannah on December 26th and refused to return her. Hannah reconsidered the domestic violence order on December 29th, and the police took her daughter away from Rowan. The couple reached a custody agreement in late January 2020. Hannah has primary custody of the elder children, and Rowan needs to pay child support of $360 per month. Rowan informs everyone he knows that his children have been taken from him, and he vows to battle until he receives half of their time with Hannah. Rowan was charged with common assault on February 9th, but was immediately released on bail. Rowan went to a hardware store on February 17, 2020, and purchased a gas can and zip ties. He later went to his aunt's house and requested to borrow her Nissan SUV for a few days. He went to a gas station in the morning of February 18th to fill the gas can he got at the hardware store. 3:28 p.m. Rowan inquires about a men's support program with Youth and Family Services. At 4 p.m., he called the Men's Counseling Referral Service, Men's Line, and inquired about his plans to participate in the mentioned counseling's 10-week program. Rowan called a friend at 6:25 p.m. and voiced his dissatisfaction with his lack of connection with his children, alluding to Hannah and claiming that everything she is doing is working. Rowan later called a different friend and informed him that he had lost everything. He has no money and no children, and the owner of the house where he lives has served him with an eviction notice. Rowan called her children on FaceTime that night, But instead of speaking with them, he just cried. Hannah instructs the children to hang up. Rowan left his residence in his aunt's car about 6:48 a.m. on February 19, 2020. He had coffee at a cafe in Camp Hill. He then drove to Hannah's house, where she resided with her children. Hannah was driving her 3 children in her Kia Sportage SUV. Rowan rushed into the passenger seat, holding the gas can, while she started the car. Hannah begs at him to get out of the car, but he insists on driving. Hannah yelled at a neighbor to call the cops around 8:25 a.m. and shouted, "He was going to kill me. He poured gasoline on me." Rowan was physically restraining Hannah. At this point, the SUV caught fire. The neighbor went to the car to assist, but it was already on fire. Hannah's body is burning, but she managed to jump out of the automobile. Rowan appeared as well, and he was on fire. The car exploded. Some nice people attempted to assist, but due to the extreme heat of the fire, they were unable to do so. Rowan allegedly drenched Hannah and the children in gasoline and threw a lighter at the car, according to Hannah. Rowan passed away at 9:14 a.m. He technically died at the scene after stabbing himself in the chest with a knife. However, the burns will still kill him. At 9:53 a.m., the children were pronounced deceased. All 3 deaths were caused by heat injuries and smoke inhalation. Hannah is still alive, but 97% of her body has been burned. Rowan would rot in prison if he survived, Hannah said before she was brought to the hospital. But what she didn't realize was that Rowan had died. Hannah was rushed to the hospital, but she died shortly after arriving at 5:40 p.m. Rowan, according to people who know him, is the type of person who will not accept an explanation and will not accept no as an answer. Controlling, arrogant, perpetually angry, manipulative, deceptive, competitive, and self-centered. He refuses to accept defeat, and if that happens, he'll figure out a method to cheat. As a result of Rowan's frequent maltreatment of Hannah, Hannah chose to leave him. Rowan is also quite demanding and domineering of Hannah. He even embarrasses Hannah in front of her relatives on occasion. Rowan also contacts Hannah frequently when she is on vacation. He is constantly curious about where she is, what she is doing, and who she is with. They only have one Facebook account since Rowan refused to allow Hannah to have her own, and what Hannah should consume or eat is only what Rowan desires and would allow her. Rowan also does not approve of Hannah wearing shorts, skirts, or anything pink. Rowan is similarly unsupportive of Hannah. He wants to give his wife the impression that she is going nowhere. If Hannah wasn't around, he'd tell his buddies and spread the word that Hannah was the terrible wife. Rowan has gotten to the point where he is causing Hannah pain. Rowan also got access to Hannah's Instagram, and while she was sleeping, he read Hannah's cell phone text messages, and he hid recording devices in their home and Hannah's car. Hannah advised Rowan to contact a doctor about his mental health even before they split up, because Hannah is still hopeful that Rowan will change, but Rowan refused, and Hannah gave up hope. In fact, his behavior deteriorated much further. Hannah thought Rowan was a very dangerous person. Hannah told a coworker 9 days before the death that she thought Rowan was on the verge of killing her every time they were together. But since she was afraid of Rowan, she didn't let go right away and sought help, which would have allowed Rowan to cease the awful things he was doing to her previously. It was also discovered that he had seen a psychiatric doctor a month before the crime. However, the doctor stated that he saw nothing peculiar about Rowan. Rowan, in his opinion, simply needs someone to talk to, particularly his children. And he is merely upset because of his life's problems. Rowan is self-centered and narcissistic, and he doesn't care if other people, including his own family, are affected. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your support means the world to me.